You think you've got my number figured out, a motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. I wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, and if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. Don't box I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Thursday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Thursday. It is Friday Junior. It is Friday Junior, folks. Weekend is basically here. What's up, losers? It's your favorite president. Just finished watching Bobby Kennedy testified in front of a congressional committee. Did such a good job. Such a fine job. Good job, Bobby. Bobby! Looney Tunes, welcome. 500 hours later, everyone finally shows up, including me, by the way. Kraylio, welcome. Looks like I'm the only chatter here. I can assure you, there's more people in there, or maybe they're in they're on the Twitch side. Tina raiding in with a party of 17. Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. Hey, shout out to Tina. Thank you so much for the raid, and thank you for bringing your wonderful community over here. Please go check out her channel, twitch.tv/Tina_2. We are Legion. That's right. How's it going, Left Foo? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, folks, we got we gotta get to stepping. We gotta get to stepping because I gotta get out of here and solve a cat situation here. After I'm done here, so we gotta kind of boogie and leave stream ASAP. So let's get started, folks. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate the support. You guys are what makes this channel go. Thank you for being here. If you enjoy your stay, if you're from Tina's crew and you enjoy your stay, hit that follow button. It really does help us out. Spread the word far and wide. We're here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Every Tuesday, check out my show on this space. If you want to support the channel directly, check out the links and hit the things and do the doodads and join the Discord. That's very important. That's very important. Thank you all for being here. Nadia, welcome. Let's get started, folks.
But the president.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. Right now, you see more humanitarian aid coming into Gaza than it has any time in the past.
This is at a Turning Point USA. Yeah, the surf's based. This is at a Turning Point's Georgia Turning Point USA event. Just to illustrate the situation, the nature of the situation of how this is playing out.
Past 5 years.
That's a lie. Yesterday, Turning Point USA held an event at the University of Georgia. J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States.
I don't have a Farsi keyboard on my iPad mini, sadly.
Big draw.
Good.
The star guest.
Well, he was a fill-in.
Yeah, Erica Kirk was their first choice. She was supposed to appear alongside him, but she says that she received death threats. We'll get to that in a second.
Send in the second in line to the presidency in case it's unsafe there.
This is here some footage of this barnstorming event at University of Georgia.
This is from Jake Trailer.
Oh my God!
When he speaks on issues today, frankly, even when I disagree with how he's applying legal principles.
That is abysmal, folks. That is abysmal. That is an empty stadium there, an empty venue right there, if I've ever seen one. Yeesh. Yikes.
The most obvious example is
So
Rehearsal?
yeah, no, not rehearsal. That was in the middle of the event. They could have hosted that in like They don't even need to rent out the
Auditorium.
Marriott Ballroom. They could have hosted that in like
At the 40 Watt, which
Yeah.
is like a rock club in downtown Athens.
right. they
Brian
could,
flexing his Athens
they,
knowledge.
there you go.
Pretty famous.
They could have hosted that in like the basement of a church, but not a Catholic church, obviously, because I'm not sure if JD Vance can enter a Catholic church right now without bursting into flames.
Schismatics are welcome.
So, just a general kind of look at the enthusiasm or lack thereof right now with the Trump administration. You know, the campaign that in 2024 said that they were going to start no new wars and that they were going to fix the economy. And Trump tried to take Greenland, tried to take the Panama Canal, captured Maduro, kidnapped him from Venezuela, and then started war and has been bombing illegally drug boats, or boats they claim are drug boats without evidence, off the coast of the United States, and has now started the war that every previous
Also,
president was.
Just to add to that, there was another illegal strike that killed 2 people. So yeah, JD Vance would F a couch in that stadium while being heckled by Statler and Waldorf.
Able to
Bonzilla,
understand
welcome.
would be a disaster. Trump was high on his own supply and started that war, and in part is tanking the economy because of the price increases from his own war.
We're doing so well, you know, we never had a strong economy like this one, you know, under Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe. Prices were as high as the sky, but not now. I'm bringing them down.
So that was the campaign promise that JD Vance and Trump ran on, and you can imagine that some of the core supporters aren't that happy about that kind of thing, may not be excited to show up for JD Vance's event. Just a quick aside before we get to what he
I hate that
said.
we have a national leader a heartbeat away from the presidency who's best known for effing a couch. It's kind of like a symbol of the times, isn't it? This is so like, this is so insane. I figured Chinese, Russian, Arabic, Turk, German, Spanish, Kalalusin. I'm not gonna be able to pronounce that in English. Ought to cover the bases that I convey that I oppose the U.S. and collective foreign, economic, and social, and basically all policy.
Candace Owens pointed out on Twitter in her never-ending feud with Erica Kirk that perhaps Miss Erica Kirk's claims that it was a security problem.
I was so looking forward to tonight's event at the University of Georgia. I already don't believe you. With our Vice President, JD Vance. But after all our family has been through, I take my security team's recommendations extremely seriously.
Yeah.
Thank you to our amazing Georgia chapter for
Yeah,
your
so
support.
send in the second in line to the first in line to the presidency, right? Okay, dudes.
What were they guarding your feelings?
Candace says, "Stop! This is exhausting. You pulled out because of bad ticket sales for the same
Sales, they were free.
It's exactly right. They were free too, subsidized by some billionaire. You couldn't.
What? Oh my god! Wow! Like you couldn't pay people to lean on this junk? That is crazy. That is crazy. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. This is what I'm here for, honestly. I wanted to watch this video for the tea, okay? I wanted to watch this video for the tea. Plus, the message being about solidarity to comrades might be marks built enough to convey opposition to their general neoliberal, neoconservative anti-communism. I feel that. I'm okay with that.
Make people. You couldn't pay people to.
Oh my goodness. Well, I suppose we soldier on. Today has been a weird day with my computer. The girls are fighting again, and I brought popcorn this time.
Come to this. Maybe you could, but that would have meant that the arena was 10% filled instead of 5%?
Right.
Candace Owen says,
Not selling all that merch for
Fashion violence. I'm here for it.
to give it back to
Yep.
these hogs.
you pulled out because of bad ticket sales for the same reason TP Faith had to reschedule the Pastor Summit and various other events quietly. People don't believe you and don't line up for you because you struggle to tell the truth. This stupid feud is very funny to me. But what's more interesting and exciting is the lack of enthusiasm. And
Hope this is all horrible for them.
one of the 10 people that showed up to hear JD Vance speak was a righteous heckler who decided to call him out about the administration's complicity in the genocide in Gaza, amongst other war crimes and atrocities. Here's part one of JD Vance's exchange with this heckler at this event.
I like that the Pope is
How we doing, fam? Tropical Ding Dong, welcome. I'm exhausted. I'm ready. I'm ready for the weekend, okay? I woke up tired, okay? Like that's how we're doing. I woke up tired.
an advocate.
I'm already tired for tomorrow, okay? I'm already tired for tomorrow. Yes, it's sounding like it's on the verge of collapsing into basically everyone making under 1 million, bursting out into Luigi-style guerrilla warfare against the 0.1%. I mean, if things keep pushing, man, if things keep pushing, I'm telling you, folks, I'm telling you, it can freaking get to that point. It's up to whether or not the 0.01% figure this out. Again, the analogy that I use, the analogy that I use is the Monopoly game, right? Like how this is kind of like a what is it? What would you say it's called? Like a stereotype? No, not a stereotype. A cliche, a saying, I don't know, whatever. The point being is like, like the cliche like Monopoly game where everyone archetype, yes, that's it. The standard like archetype of Monopoly, whenever you think of Monopoly, is always like, Monopoly like makes enemies out of friends, because one person ends up owning the entire table and then everyone kind of flips the table over and the game has to start again. Trope, archetype, yes. That's kind of like what I'm getting at. And everyone just kind of like gets frustrated because one person owns like the table and they just flip the table. Well, yeah. It's getting to the point where people are just tired, and one of the potential paths is that the table gets flipped over. Does that make sense? Sorry I'm late to be to the woke radical left. I swear I haven't been with Epstein. I think I believe you. Ladybug, welcome. My phone is acting up. You know what? Like, it's been weird. It's been weird. My computer's been acting weird too. I don't know. Today has been a weird tech day. I mean, it's working. It's fine for now. But yeah, it's been a day. Well, thank goodness the freaking weekend is like just right about here. But yeah, no, you're not late. You're just coming into the first part.
I think that's certainly one of his roles. On the other hand, how can you say that God is never on the side of those who wield the sword? Was God on the side of the Americans who liberated France from the Nazis? Was God on the side of the Americans who liberated?
Yeah, I think
the godless communist.
The idea that this man is going to try to invoke, right? Like the one time the US was on the right side of history by like literally by like luck. And then try to invoke that and say like, oh, Does that mean like God is on our side? Because like this is just insane. Because by that stretch of logic, would JD Vance say that God was behind the USSR as they defeated the Nazis on the Eastern Front, right? Like as they won and turned the tide of the war against the Nazis, would JD Vance say that God was behind the USSR when that happened? No, he would not say that. Kirkenstein's Monster, I don't know if I said hello, but just in case, howdy. At Friday Jr., anything coming for JD Vance is a joke, especially religion. True. True. Did you see that RFK Jr. testified twice in one effing day? I vaguely like saw a couple of headlines, but man, I'm tired, boss. Like, what? The guy is insane. Okay, the guy is insane. The guy is insane. He needs to go. He belongs nowhere near the Department of Health and Human Services. Didn't the USSR practice state atheism though? I think they were like agnostic, right? Like as far as like the position of the USSR, in their constitution, I think that they basically said that like it doesn't matter the state. The USSR has no like official religion, basically. They didn't enforce or basically like they just didn't care. They're pretty agnostic. The U.S.'s entire European theater participation consisted of maneuvers in preparation for Operation Unthinkable and then finishing off the anti-fascist resistance within the territories they occupied. A thing that happened after the war. Yes. A thing that happened after the war. The U.S. heavily supplied and in some cases even used fascist veterans, right? Like after the World War, to crush anti-fascist forces. A thing that happened. Pretty sure they even used like Waffen SS people as well. What I'm trying to say is like I'm not going to get into the specifics. I'm not going to pretend that I remember the exact details, but essentially what they did was they basically hired the same fascist goons that we fought to put down like leftist to put down like leftist forces essentially. Anyone else say the job site news short? AOC isn't endorsing her former chief of staff, Saikat Chakrabarti, who's running for Pelosi seat. Seemed like it might kneecap Saikat. That's pretty not cool. That's not cool. China. Operation Paperclip, we imported Nazis into high-ranking positions to further American supremacy. That, yes. Apart from that, yeah. Also true. What they meant by state atheism was basically what the U.S. had with lacking an established religion. It was taken further, though. Yeah, my understanding, and I could be wrong, but my understanding is that they basically didn't care. They basically didn't care. Chakrabarti is former chief of staff to AOC.
We're on the right side of that, by the way.
Right, and like I just a little bit of logic here. Like just because maybe like it was good to fight the Nazis after they had started the war, that doesn't mean every
so like
war
also it just like doesn't. It just doesn't click with JD Vance that like in this analogy, like we would be the Nazis, right? Like we would be the ones, we would be the aggressors, the invaders, and the people that are actively supporting and supplying the genocide that's happening, the genocide that is being committed by Israel. Like we're the bad guy. We're the bad guys in this analogy that he's using, right? Like It's wild.
Choice is good.
No, the Nazis were committing genocide, and that's why fighting them was just. You know who's committing genocide right now? You and Israel.
Right. So again, like we're the baddies on this one, and in JD Vance's own analogy, like we're the baddies. It would actually be justified if it actually would be justified if we were stopped. They cared because they had a thoroughly merged into society, a quasi-theocracy already in place that they needed to dislodge.
So the invocation of World War II and the Holocaust is Holocaust denial. It denies the power dynamics at play. It denies the industrial scale of the genocide that is comparable to the industrial scale of Israel's genocide here. When you use the Holocaust and the Shoah in such a cynical manner,
and these fascists, like these new fascists, right? Will always like unironically like use that. It's silly, right? It's silly to invoke the Holocaust. My brother in Christ, you would be doing you're the one doing the Holocaust thing right now in this analogy.
Engage in a form of denialism that, one, enables anti-Semitism, but
and
two...
then these people like pretend like they're against the Holocaust. These people will sit there with a straight face and pretend like, oh, the Holocaust was such a horrible thing and yada yada yada. Yeah, okay, dudes. Yeah, I don't believe them, right? I don't believe them at all.
Enables the continuation of the genocide that you are complicit in. So, I love this like completely smarmy loser lecturing the Pope when he converted to Catholicism, what, in 2018?
For Peter Thiel.
2019?
Yeah, just
so he
'cause-
could be an Opus Dei or whatever he's probably associated with his little cult crap, lecturing the goddamn Pope about what Jesus Christ thinks. Just get a grip. Anyway.
Yeah, also, reference in World War II is a subtle admission that Vietnam wasn't a righteous war.
Side of the Americans who liberated France from the Nazis? Was God on the side of the Americans who liberated Holocaust camps and liberated those innocent people from, those who had survived the Holocaust? I certainly think.
Yeah, like, dude, shut up. Shut up. It's kind of gross. It's kind of gross to like try to invoke the Holocaust as if you cared, as if JD Vance cared about the Holocaust. Like if JD Vance was back, transported back in the day, he would be like those. JD Vance would be the America First people. JD Vance would be the America First people advocating to not go to war against Germany. JD Vance would be the people in that rally, okay? In that Madison Square rally. With the American Nazi Party, okay? So, like, spare me. Please, dude. Spare me. Bad Lefty, welcome.
The woke is my enemy. He must be... Oh, the Pope. The Pope is my enemy. He must be stopped. He's so bad on crime.
Pakistani Mango Soviets liberated Auschwitz. Every time Vance speaks, I'm reminded of that evergreen tweet. You do start to realize why JD Vance's mom tried to trade him for some Perks 30s. The Russian Orthodox Church's grip on people was huge. Oh, okay, okay, so that's a reference to their previous comment. Gotcha. Not gonna lie, converts be sus AF, 100%. Seven, welcome. Jesus.
The answer is yes, and I agree. Jesus Christ does not. I agree. Jesus Christ certainly does not support genocide. Whoever yelled that out from the dark, he certainly does not.
But you do. That's the thing. Like you do support Jesus Christ. The point is that you are pretending to invoke this religion that is supposed to be, right, teaching stuff like love thy neighbor, teaching stuff like treat the foreigner as you would treat your national, you know, as your own nationals, like that guy. You are against that. So I don't tell you, man.
I think that's pretty easy.
Because
I
it's
think
not
that's
real.
a pretty easy principle.
Brian, come on.
Okay,
Disrespectful.
so here's a guy. Let me just say this. This is a guy. No.
Okay, we can pause
First
it
of all-
there because the crowd starts booing. JD Vance continues to lecture him on the godliness of certain wars because
And what he accepts the Pope will do.
yeah, I'm shocked that this is the
So,
administration's
like, welcome. JD wrote a book about what a good Catholic he is and put a Methodist church on the cover. Rookie mistake. Yeah. Don't be too harsh on the guy. He's just a V POTUS.
posture. Pete Hegseth has a Crusades
at picking
tattoo and
couches.
was caught chanting "Kill all Muslims" at a bar. So they view this as a holy war, as we talk about how it's really the Iranian regime and all of their kind of religious fervor that's making them so irrational. Here, let's double tap a girls' school and commit countless atrocities. Now, this continued
Christ.
for a little bit, and the heckler came back for more, which I could not
do unto
appreciate
the
more.
least of thee, love thy foreigner, etc. All the things that you do unto them, you do unto me. Something of that effect.
So if you want, sir, to complain about what happened in Gaza, why don't you complain about Joe Biden and the last administration? We're the administration that solved that problem.
Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, you know. Nothing would have happened October 7th. Never would have happened under Joe Biden.
No, what are you talking about? You didn't solve what problem was solved in Gaza? I'm confused here. What problem was solved here? Israel is still killing people in Gaza. What are you talking about?
Oh, you solved it.
Sorry, this is actually a really important point.
Yes.
And this is reported that the reason that
Yeah,
the
we did.
ceasefire
F-Biden too. Agreed.
happened when it did was so both the Democrats and the Republicans could claim credit for it. And flacks like J.D. Vance and his counterparts in the Democratic Party have said this was actually Joe Biden that did it, or actually Trump actually did it. Israel did that to give both of these sides a bone to chew on.
100%. We know this from how Netanyahu was meeting with Trump periodically prior to the 2024 election. Do you not think that he understood that Biden was so
both laid down for Israel. That's right. Welcome, BCAT. And JD solved absolutely nothing. Like nothing. The heckler was full of reason too.
weak and captured ideologically by Zionism that he could elongate this as long as possible to hurt the part of the one party in this country that has a constituency that's actually activated on the anti-war left for anti-genocide purposes, that he could hurt that political party, get Trump in power, and give him this win of the ceasefire, which, by the way, Israel has violated almost every single day since it was agreed to in the fall. You don't think that that was a part of the political calculation so he could sit up there and cynically, smugly say, we ended this? They're literally selling off the real estate with the bodies of hundreds of thousands of people unaccounted for under rubble, babies crushed, to
Yeah, also, like, Bernie Sanders is talking about preventing a bill from preventing the sale of bulldozers to Israel. So, yeah, no, nothing has been stopped. Nothing has been solved here at all. Genocide equals murdering children. Yes, among other things. Not just children, but yes. Let's agree Statler and Waldorf and the Muppets had the right to heckle out of Chady. Oh, 100%. I'm not, I'm not gonna, dunk on them. Zionism is a racist ideology based upon white supremacy combined with Jewish identity. I mean, yeah, it's an ethno-estate project. Full stop.
Trump's son-in-law, and Israel is ethnically cleansing Lebanon right now.
And the Iran thing, this is all part of the same issue, which is the construction of greater Israel.
Yeah.
The Gaza stuff and everything we're seeing with Iran. And J.D. Vance's administration just helped them chew off the bigger part, which was Iran. Because if it wasn't for us going
JD
to war with
means
Iran
Just
right now,
Dance.
Israel wouldn't be so free to go at Lebanon.
Be okay.
Let's keep going.
And by the way, not only was our administration like the administration that solved the problem, but the the president.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. Right now.
Yeah. We literally just bombed children. Israel bombs children like on the regular. I thought JD meant Jorkin the Pepis. The Pepis.
Right now, you see more humanitarian aid coming into Gaza than it has any time in the past 5 years.
That's a lie.
Because we have taken
I don't buy that at all.
that situation seriously. And that's one of the things that I'm proud of about our administration is whether it's there or Thailand and Cambodia, we have consistently tried as much as we can to solve these problems, not just complain about them like the guy who just ran away angry.
Oh, yeah.
What? Wow. Insane. Insane. Okay, so like, yeah, I mean, like, he just like basically just like straight up like, all right, well, I got nothing, so I guess we're just gonna make shit up, right? Like, yeah, the situation in Gaza has been solved. There has been more humanitarian aid getting into Gaza than before. Yeah, dude, nobody believes that shit. Like that, he just straight up like, okay, well, I'm cooked here. I'm just gonna freaking lie, and then people applaud that. Like, what do you? This is like what drives me insane, because like the guy can just smugly say like anything, and these people, as long as he says it in like the right way, I guess, in a politician way, these people will freaking clap. That's what's annoying. Like JD Vance lying and being an absolute ghoul, and being an absolute disgusting ghoul. I get that. Okay. I get that. But like the fact that like people are just like straight up clapping as if like this dude was correct, as if this dude like expertly like just swatted down the very like real criticism that was just levied. Like, yeah, man, you're killing children, dude. Yeah, when you're a shameless soulless demon, you can just freely say whatever you think is the most convenient thing to say in whatever the moment. Yeah, it's a superpower, I tell you. And then people clap. Like that's what gets me. It's like the people clapping is what gets me. So many adults have been killed that over half of Gaza is under 18, and the grand plan here is for Jeffrey Epstein's best friends to take it over and do whatever they will with them. True. Israel calls them future combatants instead of children. They just think they're being proactive. True.
Yeah, just complaining. The guy who just ran away. All right, you're the vice president, but go on,
And
Theo
again,
Von.
like that's what gets me. It's the people clapping and like thinking that like he's right or something. He has a cheek speaking at a U.S. university while they're bombing Iranian universities.
On and clutch your pearls a little bit more when he tries to like tepidly ask you about that genocide that you're in favor of, or that you're supporting actively. So smug, it's unbelievable.
He's a genocide denier. The thing saying Jesus, yeah, I think Jesus would be against genocide. You are going to hell by your, understanding.
Yes, you are killing children, JD Vance, as that brave person said in the crowd.
Right, and, like,
and he's lying about the aid.
He can't really say anything to that, right? He can't really say anything to that. It's on. We know about this. Our own military investigation confirmed that it was our bomb that killed 160 something children in that school.
Just had Dr. Tarek Loubani on for a very difficult interview that people should still check out if they can. I know we've clipped it recently, and I'd love for people to share it. But Lubani had said to us that the only aid that had been, or medical supplies that had come in, was around 6 weeks ago because somebody was able to bribe the son of an Israeli commander or something like that, or someone, a family member of an Israeli commander, and that they're still not letting in baby formula or any pain medication. And he was operating on a little girl with her intestines outside of her without any pain medication, and that he had to make the choice between two children who both had severe injuries, and he chose the girl with the intestines that were falling out, and then they both died, and he had to bear that. That's what's actually happening in Gaza right now. They're striking camps and tents. So yeah, you're killing children, starving children, and you're selling the land and participating in an ethnic cleansing campaign. And
yeah, all of this is true. All of this is true. Not only does he kill children, he kills old people and women. Yeah. Par for the course, right? Like, it's a genocide. It's not limited. It's not limited to just children.
Look, in terms of a political constituency for Palestinian liberation,
just giving oneself moral permission to do genocide is what that is. Yep. They're just future combatants, Hamas, whatever you want to call them, right?
it's always going to come from the left. But I am still immensely grateful that there are actually still true Christians out there that may have views that I don't agree with and believe things that I don't agree with, that understand that they need to call out this administration for its complicity in these atrocities.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12.
Oh, somebody's gonna get deducted from the commissary. They didn't put the videos here. Somebody's gonna get their commissary deducted. Sam jump scare. Oh, Christ. I'm be honest, chat. We're gonna try to make it through these. We're gonna try to make it through these headlines and go home early, folks. ICE agents have been charged with assault and accused of pointing a gun at civilians in Minnesota. So hey, this is kind of good news. This is kind of good news. Gregory Donald Morgan Jr. was charged with 2 counts of second-degree assault with a dangerous weapon, and there is a warrant out for his arrest. Now we're getting somewhere. F-ICE, I agree. An ICE agent who was part of the ethnic cleansing surge in Minnesota was charged with a felony second-degree assault with a dangerous weapon, a Minnesota prosecutor announced on Thursday today. The agent, Gregory Donald Morgan Jr., is accused of pointing a gun at the heads of 2 civilians in a vehicle. I mean, yeah, if you do that, like, you should be arrested immediately. This is the first case of an ICE agent facing charges related to the Trump administration's Operation Ethnic Cleansing in Minnesota, which drew national outrage after the fatal murders of 2 citizens by the Gestapo. Meanwhile, the federal government is shuffling them around like the goddamn Catholic Church for child rapists. True.
My play police did this. They did nothing wrong and they still indicted him.
Morgan was charged Thursday with 2 counts of second-degree assault with dangerous weapon, 1 count for each victim, and there's a warrant out for his arrest. Nice. Now, we need the warrants out for the arrest for the ICE agents that not only committed the murders, but all of the other ICE agents that were complicit in the murders of Alex Peretti and Renee Good. On February 5th, Morgan was driving an SUV with no markings when he pulled up next to another vehicle, pointed his duty weapon directly at both victims while continuing to drive illegally on the shoulder. The driver then called 911. See, this is why it's important, okay, to call the freaking cops on ICE, okay? When you see shit like this, okay, when you see shit like this, call the freaking cops, okay? Call the cops on ICE. Let them sort themselves out, okay? Let them sort themselves out, because like this is it. Not only should you be filming, okay, not only should you have video evidence and film ICE whenever possible, but also if you see stuff like this, absolutely call the cops on them 100%. They like still trying and failing to explain to Trump how the presidential pardon is for federal crimes and the state crimes are a separate thing. It doesn't affect under all legal existing legal precedent, presumably. Yep. For a federal agent, our opinion is that illegally driving on a shoulder, pulling up to a car and pointing a gun at the heads of two community members who are not doing anything at the time is well beyond the scope of their authority. And, you know, a crime. There's no... If you pull up, okay, like, not just, like, driving erratically, not just driving erratically and putting people in danger by driving, like, in the shoulder, but you're also like pointing a gun at people. How do you think like any other person, any other regular civilian, that would be immediate like arrest? So yeah, absolutely call the cops on these people. They usually side with ICE, consider the state. They just got fed up too many cops and got mace in their eyes. Whatever, you still call on them, right? Like you just be truthful and just be as truthful as necessary to get the point across, right? Like if you see ICE rolling around and say and doing something like this, like pointing a gun at somebody in this manner, like say, hey, there's unidentified armed men, because it's true, these people don't wear any type of identification on them, nor do they identify themselves. Oftentimes they're masked. So yeah, there's unidentified men who there's unidentified men who are pointing a gun at somebody, which is 100% true. So the cops can help ICE beat their ass? No, that's not. No, you do it so that the cops go and investigate and figure it out. You don't say, hey, I think that's ICE. You say, hey, there are what appears to be armed men pointing a gun at somebody. If you act like someone's trying to carjack me, I'm going to use my castle doctrine. I mean, if you don't know who that is, and it's unidentifiable armed men coming after you, and they refuse to identify themselves, and they're coming after you with like lethal weapons, I mean, like, how are you supposed to know? How are you supposed to know that this is the police or ICE or whatever? As far as I'm concerned, those are people that are trying to do you harm, possibly, and it's not your job to figure that out. Maybe ICE should identify themselves. Maybe ICE should wear identifiable and clear markings as to who they are. Otherwise, people will correctly mistake them for carjackers or burglars, as you mentioned. How are you supposed to know? And that is a genuine question. How are you supposed to know? The law is going to view it as, hey, you people didn't identify yourselves. That's on you. I bet if a rash of people defending themselves from masked and unidentified men broke out, they'd address it ASAP. Yep. Maybe I should take their own asses to jail. No, we need the state to step in, because the federal government is not going to. The prosecutor said it appeared Morgan was attempting to bypass slower traffic when the victim briefly moved their vehicle into the shoulder to slow him down. The agent then pulled up to the victim's vehicle before opening the window, opening his window and pointing his duty weapon at the driver and passenger. Minnesota State Patrol investigators interviewed Morgan the following day. According to Moriarty, Morgan said that he and his partner were driving to Whipple Federal Building after their shift. He admitted that he drew his firearm and after the victim vehicle had already rejoined the normal flow of traffic, corroborating details from interviews with the victim as well as a video of the incident. Moriarty said Morgan's behavior was extremely dangerous. Driving while pointing a weapon out of your moving vehicle at the victims who were in another moving vehicle could have led to another disastrous incident in a community that has already suffered too many. The Trump administration sent 3,000 Gestapo agents to Minnesota at the end of November for ethnic cleansing operations dubbed Metro Surge. I refuse to I reject this framing completely. This is not immigration enforcement at all. I reject the framing of this. The world is watching the U.S. assimilate itself, and it won't recover for decades, if at all. It could even recover with extensive work by a based administration, and it'll all get torn down in one bad election. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe we never recover. Maybe we do. Maybe it'll take decades. Maybe it will take more than that. I don't know. Yeah, I still won't recommend it. No, it's not about recommending to do one thing or another. It's like understand understand the law and understand the law and how things can play out. And just don't do crimes. Don't do anything illegal. Amid the crackdown, immigration no, this is not yeah, well, I guess amid the ethnic cleansing, Gestapo authorities murdered two citizens, Renee Good, a mother of young children, and Alex Preddy, an intensive care unit nurse at the local VA, in separate confrontations. The killings, which were captured in videos from the scene, led to a groundswell of outrage and massive protests across the country. The deaths also drew stark criticism from Democrats and some Republican lawmakers. Yeah, so much for that. We'll see how that works out. NYPD is mad at Zoran for not charging a bunch of kids with assault for throwing snowballs at them. In the weeks after the murders, the Trump administration border czar Tom Homan arrived to take over the operation from Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino, who was relieved of his title and returned to previous role as a sector chief in El Centro, California. Homan in February announced the winding down of the effort, which he said resulted in arrests of thousands of people. Immigration arrests in and around Minneapolis have still continued. NBC Decision Desk polling released in mid-February showed that support for the Trump administration's immigration policy took a significant hit after the murders of Good and of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Not to mention all the brown people who fired in ICE custody and on the border. Wait, what? You're gonna have to rephrase that. You're gonna have to rephrase that. Oh, I meant died. Okay, not to mention all the brown people who died in ICE custody and on the border. Yep, that's true. It's hard to keep track because like the records aren't that the records aren't that public, but like it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I want to see the ICE agents. I don't know if I finished this. I don't know if I finished this thought. the records are absolutely public, I don't think they're very good. I don't think they're very good. Like, they'll say, oh, this person died because the medical unknown medical condition. You know what I mean? When literally it's like someone, you know, like a bunch of ICE agents beat them, right? I think if that makes sense. All the pets that unalive from abandoned due to ICE, nobody mentioned the pets. That's true. That is true. That is true. And that is sad. That is sad. I've actually seen like social media posts about that, like the pets of people who have been the pets of people who have been taken away. Wasn't a guest on the majority of recently talking about how they don't count in the stats people who die in very curious circumstances right after being released. It's often due to poor medical care and detention. I mean, some of them, yeah. But some of them are being reported as medical issues when it wasn't. Like that one dude who got beat. They tried to cover it up and say it was like a medical issue, and that's what they put down. Even people that eventually get released from ICE essentially go home and no more photo and a mess to clean. Yep. They aren't, these aren't arrests or abductions. That's true. That's true. So where I was going with this is, yeah. They need to charge the people who murdered Alex Preddy and Renee Good, and they need to charge the people who were also complicit. And anyone who was complicit, all the Gestapo thugs that were beating Alex Preddy, should be arrested too. The Gestapo thugs surrounding the Renee Good killing, all the disgusting things that have happened. The pet thing is what would send me on a warpath. Yeah. Like if I was abducted and I came back and was obviously not able to care for my cats, yeah, I think that would like John Wickify anybody, honestly. That would John Wickify anybody. I was doing my taxes till 9 p.m. Thank God for AI this site glitch or something and told me something was right. That was right. That was wrong. Yeesh. Shifting gears here, folks. The tax site. Gotcha. Interesting development with this absurd White House ballroom here. Judge blocks above ground construction of the Trump White House ballroom, but the Furubunka apparently is good to go. Apparently. A federal judge in a revised order on Thursday today blocked the administration from above ground construction work on the controversial, controversial, I guess that's one way of framing it.
Bobby Kennedy ruining my play, police. He'll send them to hell. Bobby. Just stick to the anti-vax stuff, not the environmentalism. Just stay in your lane, Bobby.
Like the animals who kept the crowds back from Derek Chauvin and poor George Floyd, the ICE onlookers need to be charged too. Yep.
Bobby!
Pete, how's it going? Welcome. My friend got kidnapped by ICE and they just abandoned his truck with his dog in it on the side of the road. His family was able to save the dog after 2 days because it was out of state. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. That is horrific. That is horrific. That is scary. That's so sad for everyone involved. Yep. I mean, I can't even like, I can't even imagine. Super Old Pup 2. Damn. Like, I can't even imagine. I've got 3 cats. And, that would be, that would be freaking catastrophic. That shit would send me over the edge. If I got abducted by ICE, because like when you get abducted by ICE, it's not like it could be anything. It could be anything from like a couple of hours to like a week. Who knows? Because like these people will just keep you. Will just keep you, and God knows, right? Like God knows when they'll let you out. I'd be on a rampage, yeah. Right, they suspend your rights. Yeah, Controversial's doing a lot of work there. Yep. Controversial ballroom proposed, the controversial proposed White House ballroom. Judge Richard Leon's order allowed the administration to continue below ground construction, including work related to national security facilities. The Führerbunker. Leon's order is also allowing above ground construction that is strictly necessary to cover, secure, and protect such national security facilities, as long as the construction does not lock in the above ground size and scale of the ballroom. They have no right to take anyone's rights. I hope these bastards get tried in court. I hope so too. Right? Your inconvenience isn't even an afterthought for these fuckers. Not even convenience, literal life and death necessities. Right, like my pets are worth more. Hello, cat. To me, my pets are worth more to me than any ICE agent. Any ICE agents. Like, you can combine all the ICE agents that exist right now, and my pets are worth, like, 10,000 points above that. 1 million points above that. 1 bajillion points above that. But anyways. And just throw me a number that bothering to gas me first if I got delivered to them by people deporting me to the US. I mean, we're not there yet, but we're not there yet. Not quite. Not quite. That girls are worth more than all the ICE agents combined. Exactly. He's the O.J. Simpson of politics. RFK Jr. killed his wife. I actually don't know about that. I'll have to look into that. I mean, it's not surprising because the guy's like a literal psychopath. Are you sure it's not there yet? I mean, we don't have like ovens. We don't have like 24/7 incinerators going off like completely. Like we haven't completely gotten to that point yet. Not that it's not possible. As far as I know, we just haven't gotten there quite yet. ICE agents literally have no value. True. Your pets are worth more to me than all ICE agents, let alone my pets. Exactly. They have installed ovens. I would need to see I would need to see that. And I guess we just need more. To see like if we're doing the full on like Nazi style scale of genocide. I just don't know. I'm not saying it isn't happening. I'm saying I just don't know. ICE agents literally have no value. I agree. My cat is purring so loud as we discuss our love for our pets. That's amazing. Not saying the situation isn't dire. we've got camps. We've got camps. We've got people dying in bad conditions, just like concentration camps. Because the sum total of all ICE agents does not even add to a net positive. Nope, not even. Not even. Nuggets? I want chicken nuggets. I can't Google it. I'm sure I heard that ovens were ordered and people had the paperwork. I mean, with this administration, I'm just saying, I'm just saying it's not past them. But yeah, I'll definitely look into it. It's not above them. It is definitely not above them. You know, Donald Trump was in leadership camp just like where Hitler went. Yeah, a net negative. Okay. Nuggets equal fuzzy friends. Yeah, I got a 3-piece nuggets. The Trump administration quickly appealed the order to the U.S. Court of Appeals in District of Columbia. Leon had paused his order from taking effect for 7 days. The president raged about Leon's order in a Truth Social post. A Trump-hating Washington, D.C. judge, a man who's gone out of his way to undermine national security, the ballroom, to make sure this great gift to America gets delayed or doesn't get built, is attempting to prevent future presidents and world leaders from having a safe and secure large-scale meeting place or ballroom, one with bomb shelters. So first of all, he specifically said that the Fuhrer bunker is good to go. It's just the ballroom that's the problem, and he is pretending as if all of this has been stopped. And also, like, are we seriously saying that there's no like safe and secure structure right now for the president or the cabinet or whoever is important? You're telling me that right now there is absolutely no safe place, no secure location right now for the president. Like, this is obviously like a lie. Yeah, DC already has underground facilities. I had a bearded dragon for many years. He was so chill, he would sit on my shoulder for hours. A cool dude. Yeah. Bearded dragons are cool. I was wondering why my boss hasn't opened one of the 5-gallon jugs after he threw away the water machine. I realized his dumb has to away all the cups and the cup holder too. Idiot. Isn't he also like a MAGA? They even had a tarantula, but it was a tarantula, so kind of freaky. I mean, they're alright. Like, they don't do much. Tarantulas are pretty chill. Like, once... Tarantulas are pretty chill. They don't do anything. They don't do anything. I like lizards. You keep your big hairy spiders. Lizards are chill too. Let's chill, but I get him out. Unless I was trying to show off, usually to girls. Nice. We have a groundhog that decided to show up a couple days ago, and he's just kind of set up shop in our backyard. His name is obviously Phil. And he's a pretty chill guy. every morning he gets up out of his little groundhog hole and he sits in a fallen tree log, and he just sits there, and then he goes around and eats grass. So yeah. While he's not a pet, he kind of just hangs out in our yard, so. My boss is what they would now call a rhino, but if you talk crap on Trump, even though he doesn't like him, he'll get pissy and whataboutism to the convo of Biden. Yeah, no, I mean, same thing. Same difference. He's a latent MAGA. Yeah, I mean, same difference. If you're not explicitly against Republicans, then like it's kind of meaningless, right? He wants a Liberace style ballroom and a Furubunka. That's right, that's what he wants. Order comes 5 days after the Court of Appeals told Leon to clarify a prior order he issued on March 31st that enjoined the Trump administration from taking any action to build a planned 400 million, 90,000 square ballroom where the White House's East Wing once stood. The East Wing was demolished last year to make way for the project at Trump's behest. The appeals court specifically told Leon to reconsider the potential national security implications of blocking construction. The administration had told the appeals court that Leon's injunction was threatening grave national security harms to the White House, the president, and his family, and president's staff. This is a Furubunker. Come on, man. I got a brother-in-law still after everything in a MAGA. Is a MAGA fan eating Fox 24/7 crack? Oof, sorry for your loss. Leon, in an opinion on Thursday, said the court has taken the defense invocation of national security and presidential security seriously throughout this case, which is why I included a safety and security exception in my original order. But national security is not a blank check to proceed with otherwise unlawful activity, and belated assertions that the above-ground ballroom is inseparable from an array of security features are not an occasion for this court to reweigh the equities or reconsider the preliminary injunction. He's a real POS. When Gaza was leveled, he said, good, they need to keep going and do the whole Middle East. It's the only way they'll have peace. Yeah, I mean, so indistinguishable, right? Like, indistinguishable. I have those babies and the real the convo. Yeah, it tends to do that, right? When you show the mirror to these people, it tends to make them uncomfortable, right? Because that's them. Because that's them. The National Trust for Historic Preservation is suing the Trump administration to block the ballroom from being built. Leon, in 2 prior decisions, has declined requests by that group to halt the project, but in his March 31st ruling to issue the injunction against the ballroom, Leon said no law comes close to giving Trump the power to build such a structure at the White House without authorization by Congress. That injunction excluded work is strictly necessary to ensure the safety and security of the White House and its grounds, including the ballroom construction site, and provide for the personal safety of the president and his staff. Literally a Furubunka. The President of the United States is the steward of the White House for future generations of first families. He is not, however, the owner, Leon said, wrote in his opinion explaining the ruling. In his amended order on Thursday, the judge slapped down arguments by the Trump administration that the entire ballroom project could proceed on national security grounds. Defendants argued that the entire ballroom construction project from tip to tail falls within the safety and security exception and therefore may proceed unabated. And the Judge Leon wrote in the opinion issued on Thursday, with the amended injunction, that is neither reasonable nor a correct reading of my order. The accompanying opinion states that the ballroom construction project must stop until Congress authorizes its completion. It is, to say the least, incredible, if not disingenuous, yeah, you think? That the defendants now argue that my order does not stop the ballroom construction because of the safety and security exception. The judge said that the new order in enjoining above-ground construction from proceeding directly addresses the risk that the National Trust suffered irreparable harm of by the building of the ballroom. Cats will eat our faces when we die in our homes alone. Yes, true. If we enter early, I'm hitting the like twice. I mean, you can hit it if we leave early, which probably we will. You're able to hit the like button 3 times. Okay, that's the deal. You can hit the like button 3 times. Well, I hope we don't have an incomplete hole in the ground for years to come. Will Congress allocate funds to repair damage or just leave it? It's unclear. It's unclear. Honestly, like, it should be that the president has to, like, repair the entire thing from, you know, from top to bottom, if none of this, ever goes through. But, you know. I have cats to death, but you can't trust them? Yeah, you can. I trust my cat. My cat's chill. I have a parasite to give mice to make the mice more attracted to cats. Wait, what? Okay, hold on. What are you talking about? Toxoplasmosis gondii, welcome. Canada doesn't even elect its own Senate. Does Canada even have a Senate? Or they have like a parliamentary system, don't they? Oh, literally. It works on people too and makes them much more likely to be, quote, entrepreneurs. Oh, no, 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 no. I was sitting there for a long time. Wait, what? I'm not even kidding. No, now I believe you. Now I believe you. Now I believe you. I was like, what are you people talking about? And the exception for the underground Fuhrer bunker does not include the proposed ballroom because defendants themselves distinguish below ground and above ground construction, stating the below ground surface work is driven by national security concerns independent of the above ground construction. So yeah, that is the update here. Apparently, the Fuhrer bunker can be continued. The Fuhrer bunker can be continued to be built for reasons of national security or whatever. But the ballroom is still supposedly going halted for now. Canada has a Senate, but it doesn't have relevant powers. They still get to vote on bills sometimes. Oh wow, that's nice. That's how it should be. Look at that. Absolute disaster. Perfect analogy for this administration. True. So, in a extremely rare W, apparently, somehow we've reached the Twilight Zone where Congress, the House, has decided to allow the protections for Haitian migrants. Well, do you know the last thing Defeer did in his bunker? Yes. Charge is Garth in jail, Crystal. What I want to know is if the mice and people contract a parasite from cats, are infected cats more attracted to other cats to be a good way of parasite to spread? I don't know. This all sounds like a, do not Google that. Now I'm gonna Google it live on stream. Right now. I did know the last thing that the Fuhrer did in his bunker, and I think that Donald Trump, making statements like, Diet Soda, Diet Coke is, like Diet Coke cures cancer. I think that The president is well is well on his way. That being said, I fully support Donald Trump getting as many diet sodas as he needs and wants. It's critical to it is critical to national security that Donald Trump receives as much cancer-curing Diet Coke and McDonald's Filet-O-Fishes as necessary.
Fake news like failure. Barry Weiss says DBS is reporting lies about me. Sleepy Joe backed.
He played Final Fantasy, wait, 12? Oh god, I'm so bad at this. With Eva Braun. He famously hated G, a take that many modern Redditors agree with. So if I Google that, that's what I'm gonna find. Speaking of Final Fantasy, I just got Final Fantasy for the PlayStation Portable, and I am pretty excited to try it. High speed LED helps too. I mean, it does. In a way, I guess it does stop cancer. Raphael there. Barry Weiss has blood on her hands. Oh, yeah. That's my first thought when you said Fear Bunker. I mean, is it not a Fear Bunker? Right? Like, is it not?
This whole country's going to hell.
McDonald's battery charging theory. What is that? Can I get a elaboration? I've never heard of this. Anyways. The White House delivered rare pushback on President Trump's ethnic cleansing policy in a vote on Thursday on a bill to stop the administration from ending temporary deportation protections for Haitian nationals living in the U.S. Democratic Representative Ayanna Pressley spearheaded the effort to force the vote through a procedural tool known as discharge petition. The tool, which has been seen increased success under the fractured Republican majority, hit the 218 signature threshold it needed to bypass GOP leadership and bring the measure to the floor in late March. 4 Republicans, Elvira Salazar of Florida, Brian Fitzpatrick, Mike Lawler, and Don Bacon of Nebraska, joined Democrats in backing the discharge petition in a procedural vote on Wednesday. It also gained the support of Representative Nicole Malliotakis, Carlos Jimenez, and Kevin Kiley of California, allowing the bill to proceed to the House floor. The underlying bill, introduced last year by Democratic Representative Laura Gillen of New York, would require the Department of Homeland Security to extend the Temporary Protected Status, or TPS, for Haitians under 2029. The bill was co-sponsored by Lawler. It passed Thursday 224 to 204, with 10 Republicans and all Democrats voting in favor. The bill mirrors one introduced by Secretary of State of Marco Rubio in 2019 when he was a Florida senator.
Little Marco.
Trump once said he thinks humans have a finite amount of energy in their lives, and exercising burns that energy up fast, so he doesn't exercise and eats a ton of fast food. Godspeed. Yes, Mr. President. Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. President. You are right. I wonder if McDonald's fish is any better since McDonald's are so busy. I worked at every fast food burger place in my youth, and the fish was always nasty except rare stores that cooks it on demand. Yeesh, yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. That McDonald's fish, you couldn't pay me to eat it, okay? You couldn't pay me to eat it. The veggie burger from Burger King was disgusting. I wonder if it has any better now since fake meat has come a long way. It smelled so bad. Honestly, like, the Boca burgers are great. And there's another one. I think the Impossible burger has come a long way. Like, I've had several Impossible Impossible Burgers, and they're pretty decent. Like, I'm good with that. In fact, I haven't eaten like a meat burger in, at this point, months, and I'm good with that, honestly. I'm good with that. The only thing vegan still things that still suck are cheese and bacon. I'm sure it'll get there. Vegan bacon is horrific. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't tried it. I don't really eat bacon that often to really, like, you know, if I didn't have bacon anymore, I'd be okay. But yeah, if it gets better, then heck yeah. Cheese has improved, but it's still not the same. Gotcha. I haven't had vegan cheese either. I need to try that. Yes, Mr. President, have some Maybelline Blue. Yeah, go for it. Mr. President, yes, sir. Not exercising and eating a ton of fast food. Perfect. The vote comes as the Supreme Court is set to weigh in on the legal battle over the Trump administration's efforts to roll back the TPS for hundreds of thousands of immigrants from Haiti and Syria. A federal judge blocked the administration from invoking the legal protections for Haiti in February, one day before they were set to lapse, and an appeals court panel declined to freeze the lower court's decision. That's cheating. No, that's perfect. Someone needs to tell Trump about how the Chinese emperor drank mercury to become immortal. Just don't tell him how it turned out. Exactly. Mr. President, sir, if you drink enough mercury, okay, look, you'll live forever. Isn't that what you want? You can have your third term, Mr. President. Not a vegan, I just like meatless shit. Hey, that's valid too, honestly. That's valid too. Trump was only one stage removed from the MMS bleach drinking crowd. True. It wouldn't take much. Yep.
You know, Bobby told me that if you take enough mercury, you know, Bobby's a great guy. He's so smart, Bobby. Aren't you smart? If you take just a little bit of mercury every day, along with some colloidal silver. He said, sir, you'll live forever, sir.
Fish is just too good to be fried. I'm not opposed to fried fish. I'm not opposed to fried fish. But I also will eat, you know, grilled or baked. I'm a big fan of salmon. Big fan of salmon. when I can get when I can get it. I can tell none of these people are British. Love it, Chippy. Fish and chips. I'm actually not that opposed to that. What if Bobby got Trump taking that stuff that makes their skin orange? I mean, he already has, right? If he takes enough of it, it'll go from orange to blue. Yeah, don't forget the methylene blue. Yeah, we need that. Tell him it's important to balance out the color. You know what I mean? Baking salmon should be a war crime. No, it's good, you know. You make sure that the salmon is well seasoned. You put it in the oven, and voila. It fumigates the house. Well, I guess. When I did it, it wasn't that bad. Cod is one of the few good fishes. Alright. Technically, he's sort of right. Boiling salmon is way better than baking. Well, yeah, I mean, in the oven is what I'm trying to say. Maybe I misspoke, okay? Look, you can clearly tell my culinary skill level here, okay? But yeah, putting it in the oven is what I'm talking about. Maybe I misspoke. About a lot of chippies now will call it fish. They don't have to. They don't have to give you cod. Just some other undefined white fish. I mean, it's good. It's fine. It's fine by me. I do eat that. On occasion. You just meant in the oven, then yeah, I was wrong. Okay, I'll take the L. I'll take the L. Look, what I meant was you broil it in the oven for like 20 minutes, and you're good to go. Okay. Multiple times at cod chips, and it's definitely not cod. Congress created the Temporary Protected Status System in 1990, which allowed immigrants to temporarily live and work in the U.S. without fear of deportation if DHS decides their home country is unsafe due to armed conflict, environmental disasters, or other extraordinary circumstances. Haiti's designation has been extended several times since 2010 when a devastating earthquake left more than 300,000 people dead. It was most recently extended in August of 2024 for 18 months by the Biden administration, which cited economic, security, political, and health crises afflicting the Caribbean nation. More than 330,000 Haitian nationals held this status as of last year, not including people who also hold green cards. Silent green is people. Yep. To be fair, cod is nearly overfished to extinction. They should make fishing cod illegal, except it's going towards me eating it. Bake salmon with lemon and dill, make a creme fraiche. I mean, salmon with lemon and dill is fine. That's good. And some butter. Yeah. The Trump administration has sought to wind down protections for Haiti and several other countries, requiring Haitian nationals to leave the country unless they qualify for some other lawful immigration status. In a termination notice in November, the administration said Haiti's designation is contrary to the U.S. national interest. The United States cannot call for bold change on the ground while signaling doubt from afar. Our immigration policy must align with our foreign policy vision of secure, sovereign, and self-reliant Haiti, and not a country of Haitian citizens continuing to leave in large numbers to seek opportunity in the U.S. Jesus, holy racism. Batman. That fish from Long John Silver comes in a giant frozen box filled with arm-length cod, and you break it into pieces, bread it, fry it, and the hush puppies are just old batter from the fish? Huh. The more you know. I've never stepped foot in a Long John Silver. Aquaculture on salmon is more advanced. I mean, I'm big fan of salmon. Big fan of salmon. While also acknowledging the current situation in Haiti is concerning. Yeah, but like, you don't care about these people. Lawmakers said the Trump administration's decision put lives at risk, which it does. The stakes could not be higher, said Anna Presley at a news conference, calling the administration's decision a death sentence. Yeah, it is. Gunn said it was cruel to expect Haitians to be forced to return to these deadly and dangerous conditions. Lawler argued that sending people back to Haiti to unsafe conditions when they were currently here lawfully is unjust and unwise. Salmon nowadays is quite expensive fish. Yep. That's why it is a treat. That is why it's a treat. Whenever I find like good salmon, that is a treat. The state is the store. The State Department itself said that Haiti is unsafe for Americans to travel to, which is in complete contradiction with the DHS saying that it is safe for Haitian immigrants to return to. Said Lawler, a Republican whose New York district is one of the most closely contested seats in the House. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's why. Oh my God, that's why. That's why. Gotcha. Understood, sir. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. Never order Taco Bell earlier in the day if you don't want dried and rehydrated food from the night before. Huh. Deep frying seafood is a war crime. Look, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of seafood except for like basically like salmon and like tilapia, like just basic fish. Rotating villains. Nice. I love this. I love this. I like coconut shrimp. Not a big fan of shrimp. The meat industry will make you vegan if you learn about it. Oh yeah. It's bad. It's bad, including seafood. I'm sure. I'm sure. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. Especially what they do to. Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. CAFO. CAFO. Ooh, it's all bad. As occasionally y'all killing me with seafood and deep frying anything. I mean, like, I'm good either way. I'm just not like a big seafood person, like, at all. Something no ethical consumption. Yeah, true. True. The palm industry in particular is pretty bad too. But yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty disgusting. Like, if you ever see like those documentaries about like industrialized like animal farms and whatnot, CAFOs, yeah, it's pretty freaking horrific, man. It is pretty freaking horrific. It's part of the reason, not just like environmental reasons, but like, yeah, trying to step away, especially from like red meat, especially from cow meat, is like a big thing that I've been trying to do. Not that like, not that there isn't like issues with other, I mean, the whole thing is pretty bad. But yeah, that's true. Chopping off entire forests to plant crops. Yep. The environmental, like the scale, it's just bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's difficult to match the levels of foulness in meat. Oh, I'm gonna have to agree on that one. Oh, sorry, Kitty. I'm sorry. I didn't realize she was there. Yeah, like I'm gonna have to agree with her here. I'm gonna have to agree with Nadia on this one. Yeah, it's just really bad. It's really bad. Like, the more you look into it, I forget what the documentary was, like a long time ago. I forget what it was called, but oh my god, if like, as a younger person, when I saw that, like, holy crap. It's bad. It's bad. I forget the name of that documentary, but the images the images are quite seared in my head. So yeah, don't get me wrong, vegans are morally correct, but most I've interacted with are the most insufferable people on earth. Dominion, probably. The feces and plus content of meat is stomach churning. Yeah. And the fact that they have, Cowspiracy, maybe. That kind of rings a bell. That might be it. But if I told you, I'd be lying. I don't remember. The name Cowspiracy rings a bell. But I'm not sure if that's the one I'm thinking about. It might be. The name definitely, my favorite parts. The name definitely rings a bell. But yeah, it's bad. Why plants actually do feel pain and have emotional states and can even communicate to each other. Yeah, that's true. Sympathetic responses to plants being harmed. So eating plants eating different isn't really different from eating animals. Well, like, what plants do is, like, they basically have I mean, it's like, who's to say like what intelligence is, right? But like, they do have the ability to identify and communicate via whatever, to supply nutrients and to supply help to other, I think, what was it? Is it like a tree? Was it trees? There was like a forest of trees, and that can move nutrients back and forth to help trees that are sick. Also, like my friend who works in studying the environment in Florida, he realized that like trees will move in and try to mushrooms. Maybe it was mushrooms. The trees in Florida will move and will try to populate in areas where there is erosion to attempt to basically save like the shorelines that are getting destroyed. So yeah, like they'll move in, or they'll try to move into areas to try to shore up erosion. Yeah, no, it's pretty gross, Nadia. It's pretty gross. If you see it, you can't unsee it. Somebody told me when you mow the lawn, fresh mowed lawn, it's the equivalent of grass screaming, beware the danger. And scientists discover plants screaming when they're distressed aside from their normal talking. I don't like, that's the thing. I don't know if that's what I would describe it as. Like, it clearly they respond to stimuli, but I don't think we humans are advanced enough to understand it as much as we think. Like, I vaguely remember about these discoveries, and what I think is really like what's really happening is like plants, with as well as like basically any like thing that's like quote unquote alive, right? They are able to react to stimuli. I just don't know if we, the humans, are advanced enough to understand like what exactly is happening. But I know that there have been documented instances of forests like basically working together to move nutrients back and forth, like a nutrient highway, to supply, you know, plant other trees. And how do they know this type of stuff? I just don't think we're like advanced enough to understand it. But yeah, humans do suck. Grasses, harsh lawns are bad. True. Plant native. It's not that big of a deal. Plant native. Plants and animals feel distress. Yeah, not in the same way. Not in the same way. I think that they like I said, plants react. Plants react to stimuli. Clearly. These content of crustaceans is not just underappreciated, it's even visible in shrimp and other small ones. Yep. That is why I don't eat shrimp. That is why I don't eat shrimp. I don't like eating shrimp. I do not eat shrimp. It's a hard pass for me, especially Presley, the co-chair of House Yankees are way too obsessed with neatly manicured lawns. True. Presley, the co-chair for the House Haiti Caucus, has for months been making the case to Republicans and some apprehensive Democrats to get them on board, according to a senior aide to the Congresswoman. The aide said Presley's pitch is emphasized by the negative economic impacts, particularly on the caregiving force, if more than 300,000 Haitians are forced to leave the U.S. Presley told CBS on Wednesday she planned to continue having conversations with Republican colleagues up until the very minute of the vote to try to secure their support. Some Republicans who did not sign the discharge petition had expressed interest but weren't willing to buck leadership and put their names on it. So yeah, this is slightly good, in my opinion. And mycorrhizia is a symbiotic association between fungus and a plant, which fungal hyphae and plant roots become interconnected and form an interface on the cellular level. Nice. I think Francis Baluska and Michael Marder wrote about plant suffering, Baluska being more scientific and Marder being more philosophical. I mean, like, again, like, maybe it's just that we're not advanced enough to understand it, but yeah, I mean, it's obvious that, plants do react to stimuli, right? Like, to stimuli, and vegan propaganda. Stretching for entire forest serves as a nervous system for the forest. Yep, that's vaguely what I remember reading about. And that's pretty fascinating. That is fascinating. Here in America, we're more concerned about with aesthetics than the greater good. Yep. That's why in my little spot, in my little plot, we try to do as much good as possible. We have lots of friends outside, from squirrels to chipmunks to now a groundhog to bears sometimes, and these are our friends. I grow lots of flowers for the pollinators and a ton of veggies and herbs for the fuzzballs. I love seeing rabbits and whatnot in my yard, but my dog definitely doesn't. Yeah, I keep my cats inside for this exact reason. Also, grow my own loofahs for showers, and the birds love them for nesting. Nice! I just got loofah seeds. As Jack is on to support, I love it. Super important political happenings on screen where I'm focusing on grass. Yeah. Ozempic and eating less altogether. Top veganism sounds like a good idea. I just need Ozempic. I mean, depending on what your body needs. I mean, it's not about eating less or, whatever. You can have a good, well thought out, well-rounded diet that's plant-based. If you choose. Like, that is ideally that would be the nice choice, but for everyone, but it doesn't always work. But yeah, definitely. My boss is telling me how he was gonna stick his neck out there to get me a dollar raise bot. I need to change my blah to come out to the state, just raise the minimum wage, that's all. Wow. Oh, come to find out, the state just raised the minimum wage. Boo. Anyways, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism. So I'm not gonna give anyone a hard time for whatever decisions that they have to make or don't make. But yeah. Anyways, TPS somehow the House decided that they were going to pass it. I don't know how, but they did. So rare W. Rare W. I get venison from my dad. That's my meat source. I know an animal still has to die, but they get to live in the wild doing their thing. My dad's a pretty ethical hunter if he has, if that's a thing. I mean, like, the way I think about it is, like, as long as you're going to, like, as long as you're going to, like, use the animal, right? Like, you're not going to just hunt it for sport. And you're actually going to use the animal, whether it be for meat or any other purpose, like, the indigenous folks used to use for hides or whatever, like, whatever. The point being is you're not just hunting for sport. Like, there is a reason. There's a reason, and as far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm aware, I don't believe that your dad owns a deer factory farm, right? You know what I mean? Like, there are better ways of doing things, and like, you know, nature. We are all part of nature, and we are nature. We're not separate from nature. So yeah, I think for sport and headhunting should be completely outlawed. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, it's just, that's fine. I think that, I don't have that big of a problem if you're just going to feed your family, right? I don't know. I don't think that's like a big issue. If you're just like feeding your family.
And so ends another woke episode of A Difficult Truth. Time for the serfs.
Yes, venison is deer. Alright, folks, it's time for me to get out of here. It is about just 7 o'clock. Thank you all for being here. You guys are what makes this channel go. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Tina, for rating the chat. I appreciate it. Thank you, Heat. Thank you, Ladybug, for modding the chat. I appreciate it. Trump is claiming diet soda cures cancer. I believe him. He should drink as much diet soda as he needs. They don't want people knowing it's deer, so they gave it a fancy name. I'd say, but they'll eat beef. You know what I mean? So I don't know, like, why, I don't know why they would have an issue, right? I liked it, okay? Thank you. You need to like it 3 times. The limit is 3 times. That's how many times you're allowed to like the stream. Yeah, stay hydrated, everyone. I gotta get out of here. Once again, folks, thank you all for being here. We'll be back on Monday. Folks, as always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Actually, we'll do this song. In the next one, about 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Spread the word, do all the things, hit all the stuff, and see ya. He should also follow his own advice on Bleach. You know what they say, the president is never wrong, right?
You know, they're looking into Bleach. If you hit the body with some light, would that take care of it?
Time for some rum? I agree. After today? Sheesh. Sheesh. After this week, I guess I should say. Alright, folks, hang tight. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.